Tofu is a nutritional outlier. For a remarkably low calorie count, it provides high protein density and a complete profile of every essential amino acid the human body requires. Long before it became a fixture of modern health trends, it was an uncontroversial staple, created through the simple process of condensing and pressing soy milk into solid blocks. Yet this ancient history contrasts sharply with a modern wave of cultural anxiety. Persistent claims suggest that eating it leads to breast tumors, altered male testosterone, and impaired thyroid function. Both the health claims and the hormonal fears stem from a single group of compounds hidden inside the soybean, isoflavones, a class of plant-based estrogen. To determine if tofu is actually a toxic hazard or a clinical necessity, we have to look past the grocery store labels and examine how these isoflavones behave at the cellular level. Identifying the actual risks requires auditing the science, starting with antinutrients. In its raw state, soy contains phytates and trypsin inhibitors, which can interfere with mineral absorption and protein digestion. However, the traditional steps used to make tofu, soaking, pressing, and cooking, effectively neutralize these compounds. In a standard diet, they rarely reach levels of clinical concern. The most significant biological risk is a soy allergy. It remains one of the most common food allergens, primarily affecting infants, though many young children eventually outgrow the sensitivity. While allergies and raw antinutrients are verified biological realities, they are specific edge cases. They do not account for the widespread systemic fear regarding hormone disruption. That fear centers on two specific isoflavones found in tofu, genistein and diadzine. These plant compounds share a striking structural similarity to human estrogen, 17-beta, allowing them to bind directly to human estrogen receptors. As selective estrogen receptor modulators, they trigger a drastically weaker biological signal, actively blocking stronger human estrogen from attaching. This mechanism explains why clinical data from the European Food Safety Authority shows that isoflavones do not alter or lower male testosterone. Multiple studies confirm that regular consumption has no negative impact on normal thyroid function. Furthermore, it does not increase breast cancer risk. In fact, by preventing stronger estrogens from binding to receptors, isoflavone intake is associated with a reduced risk of breast cancer recurrence. Paradoxically, the very trait that fuels the public's fear, estrogen mimicry, is exactly what allows these compounds to protect the body from hormonal overload. This protective effect becomes a superpower in low estrogen states, such as menopause. In these cases, the weak signals from plant estrogens act as a beneficial biological substitute. The influence of soy isoflavones extends far beyond simple hormones, triggering systemic changes across various clinical conditions. By binding to specific receptors, they activate nitric oxide synthase, leading to vasodilation that facilitates heat dissipation and relieves hot flashes. There are also significant osteogenic benefits. Isoflavones stimulate osteoblastic activity, which increases bone mineral density and helps the body actively fight osteoporosis. This triggers a metabolic chain reaction, lowering LDL cholesterol, reducing arterial stiffness, and improving glycemic control to protect against type 2 diabetes. Tofu's isoflavones function as a systemic biological shield, leveraging their specific estrogenic shape to actively intervene in cardiovascular, bone, and metabolic health. The unfounded cultural anxiety surrounding tofu has long obscured the reality of its peer-reviewed benefits. Tofu is far more than a neutral meat substitute for vegetarians. It is a highly functional food, rich with bioactive compounds that exert measurable therapeutic effects on human biology. For the vast majority without a diagnosed soy allergy, the risk-reward ledger is remarkably clear. Tofu represents a scientifically sound addition to a long, healthy life.